Hello there! Welcome to my show, COVID-19 Update by Heerak. Today is January 26, 2021. It's 26 days since the new year. Yeah, you may think time has gone by a lot, but it hasn't. It's only been 26 days since the new year. Yeah, you're probably thinking like half a year passed by already, but no, not really. Today is National Plan for Vacation Day. You may want to plan vacation for the summer, but don't go far. Right now, COVID-19 situation is so bad in America. If the COVID mutants spread aggressively and start killing 10,000, 20,000 people per day, you may not even be able to go to the beach. Seriously, if you have like 20,000 Americans dying every day in June, you probably cannot even go to the beach. So you better hope to God that we don't have 20,000 people dying every day. But the problem is, Joe Biden wants to open up schools. If you open up schools, obviously COVID-19 is going to spread student to student, and then it's going to be impossible to stop COVID-19. You know what happened in England? 3 weeks ago, they closed down all the schools, but they did not close the schools from September to December. And unbeknownst to them, they had this new COVID variant spreading aggressively. They didn't know. But so the kids got COVID or carried COVID or asymptomatic for COVID and start spreading it all over to their families, their neighborhoods. And now Britain surpassed all the other European countries to be number one in COVID death because of the new variant. They've been closed. All the schools in Britain have been closed for 3 weeks. But the COVID variant spread so quickly, even though everything is closed, all the schools are closed, they're suffering horrifically. And that's why you're looking at, if the schools open with the new COVID variant spreading, you're looking at possibly 20,000 Americans dying every day in the summer. Yeah, that's how foolish Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, whom I call Tin Man Joe. Tin Man Joe wants to open up schools, listening to like some recommendation by some quack that it's going to be okay to open up schools. I mean, geez, it's a global pandemic. It's never okay to open up anything. Confine 30 children in a small confined room. It's not okay. I mean, he must be a quack who says it's okay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we should learn from Britain's mistake. You know what I mean? When you want a vacation, yeah, if you want a vacation, you better write to Joe Biden and say, don't open up schools. Have 100% online learning so we can have summer vacation. We all want to go to the beach in the summer. We can't do that if we have like 20, 30,000 people dying every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's in your interest, whether you're Republican or Democrat or independent, to write to Joe Biden and say, don't open up schools. Keep the schools closed, right? Joe Biden should be sending more money to help remote learning and online education. That's what he should be doing. Opening up schools is a threat to national security because so many people are going to get COVID. We're going to have like tens of thousands of people die per day. In the summer, no one's going to have summer. We're just going to have death. Is that what you want? Yeah, I mean, let's get rid of the program. We had 4,073 people die in the last 24 hours. I told you so. In yesterday's show, I said, hey, we're having 4,000 people die every day. And look at the number. 4,073 people died in the last 24 hours. That's our new normal. 4,000 people dying every day. At the height of COVID-19 cases in year 2020, we had like 4,000 in a day. Now we have that every day. And Joe Biden wants to open up schools. Is he crazy? Tin Man Joe is out of his mind. As you know, I'm Heerak Christian Kim, candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. I'm currently running as an independent, but I may decide to run as a Republican. The primaries are in March 2022, so it's like 2 years away. So I mean, I decide like in 2022 whether I run for primaries or not. I've been a lifelong Republican, but I'm independent now. I'm running as an independent. I'm hoping to unseat uh, the current Democratic incumbent, Dan Byer. I think I can. Hopefully, he doesn't die before this November 8th, 2022. I know he's older. And if he gets COVID-19, he may die. I just hope he doesn't get COVID so we could have a fair race. Mano a mano. Dan Byer and Heerak. Hopefully he doesn't die off in the next 2 years because, as you know, next 2 years will be 2 years of COVID-19 death. They say the new variant from England can spread easily. Like, before you were 6 feet apart and you couldn't get COVID, now you could be 6 foot apart and still get COVID. That's how infectious it is. It is highly infectious. Yeah, you should probably stay like 10 feet away. you know, you may still get it. Yeah, the new variant is very, very bad. And so the idea of opening up schools when there's new variant is crazy. Centers for Disease Control has been wrong before. Remember they told you in March not to wear a mask? Remember that? What are they saying now? Double your mask. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna believe those quacks at Center for Disease Control who said it's okay to open up schools? When 20, 30,000 people are dying in June, they'll be like, whoops, we made a mistake, sorry. 20, 30 people, 1,000 people are dying every day. What do you mean sorry? That doesn't cut it. Send them to prison. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's bad. You have these quacks saying open up schools. They're quacks because, United Kingdom tried that. And look at where they are now. They have 100% of their schools shut down by national law. 100% of their schools are shut down by national law. That's where they are. And these quacks in Center for Disease Control wants us to open up schools. Are you crazy? Joe Biden, Tin Man Joe is like tin, 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 tin. Nothing there. Hello, Biff. Hello, Tin Man Joe. Hello, Biff. Hello, Tin Man Joe. Yeah, I mean, you don't open up schools when there's COVID-19. Especially mutants. We have our first mutant discovered. Obviously, there's probably more than one because they're aggressively infectious. But one was identified on January 25th, 2021, the day that you will remember until you die, because now we're headed to a massive death. Now we may have hundreds of thousands of deaths in Virginia in 2021 because of this new COVID variant. It can escape the vaccines. Yeah, I mean, most scientists are like, I'm not sure. I think vaccine could work. Yeah, when scientists say that, it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But we think it could work. I'm like, yeah, right. Yeah. When cows fly, I remember when Dr. Fauci said, don't wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Do you remember that? We went on TV and said, don't wear a mask. I'm like, what the hey? What the hey? The science says wear a mask. You're telling us not to wear a mask? We rather read the science and go with the facts in the science. It's like the Bible. You know how some preachers preach and they like, God loves everybody, and that's a lie because the Bible doesn't say it. So like, what the hey? What the hey? Let's read the Bible. It doesn't say God loves everybody. What the hey? You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, you just gotta go with the facts of the science when these scientists just start digressing from their text. You know what I mean? You can't trust them. Be like Bereans, read the text. Because text don't lie. They don't have any political agenda to grind. You know, yeah, you follow the text. Yeah, human beings are flawed anyway. They're faulty. But the text, it's written down, it's codified. You follow that. We have 425,038 people have died so far. And 25,434,766 people got COVID. It's still less than 10%. We'll never reach herd immunity, never, ever. Number one, because of the COVID variants. COVID variants are different from the original COVID. So even if you reach theoretically herd immunity against the original variant, the new variant is completely different. So it doesn't work. Your herd immunity doesn't work against the new variant. You see what I'm saying? So you're never going to reach herd immunity. And there's a new variant from Ohio the scientists are beginning to study that's different from UK, South Africa, and Brazil. And you can bet your penny two shoes there are new variants popping up everywhere in America right now. What we need to do is shut every state down and not let people travel between states. That's what we need to do. Because you have all these COVID mixing. We have thousands of variations of COVID right now mixing in America, all over America. Um, yeah, it's a serious problem. I mean, you can't keep track of these. Uh, and that's why COVID-19 is forever, as far as we can see. And World Health Organization said it's probably forever as well. Kind of like AIDS. When it was first discovered as a global pandemic, HIV, they didn't know what to think. But they knew, like Dr. Burks talked about that. If you want to see Dr. Burks' interview on Face the Nation from Sunday, she talks about that. When HIV virus was discovered for the first time as a global pandemic, they didn't know what to think, what to say. Now it's still killing hundreds of thousands every year through AIDS. Yeah, HIV. It's infecting a lot, hundreds of thousands or more every year. And it's been around for decades. So that's what COVID-19 most likely will do. It'll be here forever, kind of like HIV and hepatitis C. Then we just have to adapt to it. It's kind of like when the ice age ended and things melted, the living organisms had to adapt to that. You know, it's like that. I mean, environment changes, you have to adapt. What can you do? Right? HIV is not going away anytime soon. Hepatitis C is not going away anytime soon. Why do you think COVID-19 is going to go away? It's just ridiculous. That's not a scientific way of looking at the world. Your assumption that COVID-19 will go away is not founded on science. It's founded on wishful thinking. That's what you're hoping. But your hope is not science. You see what I'm saying? Hi, Dr. Fauci. Hi, Tim Manjo. Hi, Kamazilla. That's so unscientific. Tim Manjo and Kamazilla, I don't think they care about science. This thing's not going to go away. It's killing thousands every day now. It killed over 1,000 every day last year, every day. Why do you think it's going to go away? I mean, on what basis do you put your hope? Science doesn't give you that hope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now let's look at top 5 COVID-19 cases in the world. Number 1 is United States of America, our nation, our country. Yeah, don't you want to have a vacation this summer? Oh, geez, I'm looking forward to like beach and all the bikini-clad beautiful women. I'm not married. I've never been married. I don't have any children. Hoping to God, the God will send me some beautiful, amazing woman who's thin, tall, beautiful. Hopefully God will give me a gift. Like please give me a gift, God, in the form of a beautiful Christian woman who looks like a model but is devoted to you like a Virgin Mary. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I mean, they do exist. You think they don't exist? They do exist. You go to every church, you see them. Every church has one or two or sometimes 10. Depends on the church. Some churches have 100. Such women. So, yeah. Yeah, I was kind of waiting for Georgetown University to be finished to kind of strategically, realize this goal after, I realized that that's what I needed to do. And like, the COVID-19 started. And so like, what do you do in a pandemic like this, I mean, geez. I feel bad for women who are 18 to 24 because, geez, they don't have any chance of finding a guy, really. I mean, they may die before they get married. I mean, COVID is going to kill a lot of people. But, they can't date. They can't, they can't, how are they going to find the man, Um, yeah, it's pretty bad for these, 18 to 24-year-olds who want to get married. It's bad. So I feel for you. Oh, I have photos from CPAC. Uh, Conservative Political Action Committee 2020. That was like last year, February. You know, I love that. I'm glad that I went. You see my ID card there, my ID badge. I met a lot of nice people. Yeah, I mean, geez. For the next 2 years, there will be like no CPAC. But I have to tell you, Orthopedic Nurses Association is having a physical meeting in Palm Springs, California. I think in April or May or June. Yeah, like a lot of orthopedic nurses are going to get COVID-19, flying there, flying back during the conference. Geez, I don't know what's going to happen to the whole industry of orthopedic nursing because they have this orthopedic nursing society, for orthopedic nurses, and they had their annual conference. And 2021 one is in Palm Springs, California. Yeah, you can look it up. Can you imagine going to that? Flying there is a risk. Flying back is a risk. While in the conference, it's risk everywhere because the new COVID variant is there. They'll probably go online. Eventually, they'll decide like, hey, sorry, members, we'll go online. But other nursing conferences that I know of are online, like Clinical Nurse Leader Annual Summit 2021. That's online. I was invited to present my research on COVID-19 and the masking during COVID-19. Very, very important topic. And Professor Emma um, from National Institute for Health, she's full-time worker there, researching genetics. She encouraged me to publish my research presentation, so I'm planning to do that. Yeah, I want to help nurses survive. So that's what it's about, helping nurses survive COVID-19. So a lot of nurses are going to die. In 2021, a lot of nurses, even nurses 20-year-old, 30-year-old, they're going to die. A lot of them. A lot of nurses are dying right in their 40s, in their 50s, and their 60s. But some nurses in their 30s, some in their 20s. But that number is going to increase because now we have this new COVID mutant that arrived in Virginia on January 25th, 2021, the day that you will not forget, because a lot of nurses are going to get COVID and die. If you're a nurse, you're not going to forget that day. Oh, excuse me. You know, if somebody have COVID, they have to travel like 10 feet, 20 feet. I don't have COVID, but I'm just saying if somebody had COVID and they weren't wearing a mask and they're chewing, everybody in the room can get COVID. This is what can happen in your child's elementary school at Collins Springs Elementary School in Arlington County. Aren't you glad that Heerak Christian Kim worked to close down all public schools in Arlington County, Fairfax County, Falls Church, and the city of Alexandria in August? Because one or two could, like, if the kid is infected with COVID, infect the whole room, like the whole classroom can be infected. Yeah, it's pretty bad. There's going to be a lot of death in Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, and Fairfax County. So it's really, really sad. United States is number one for COVID-19 cases, 25,434,766 cases. Death is at 425,038 deaths, 2% death rate. Even if it's 2% death rate, I mean, if you have more cases, you're going to have more death. India is number two for cases, 10,676,838 cases. Death is 1%, but look at that. Even though death is 1%, you have 153,587 deaths. Brazil is number three for COVID-19 cases at 8,933,356, and their death is at 218,878, 2%. Russia is 3,716,228 cases, 69,391, 2% death rate. United Kingdom is 3,700,268, and so we have 100,000 359 cases or deaths. It's a 3% death rate. United Kingdom broke the 100,000 death barrier today. It's really sad. So United Kingdom hits 100,000 COVID deaths. So the first article is COVID death, hard to compute sorrow of 100,000 milestone, PM, Prime Minister. The article states Prime Minister Boris Johnson said he took full responsibility. That's what Tim and Joe will have to do. We have 30,000 people dying in June because he opens up schools. Yeah. Well, at least Boris Johnson closed down all the schools, you know? I mean, geez. So he could actually honestly say he did everything he could. He ordered all the schools closed nationally, right? So they can't blame him. Right? They can't say, it's your fault, Prime Minister Boris Johnson, that we have so many deaths, because Boris Johnson could say, well, I closed down all the schools in the nation. I closed down all the pubs, all the movie theaters, all the restaurants, and people are still dying, you know? You know what I'm saying? So at least Boris Johnson, you know, he has an excuse. You know, like he could honestly, he tried his best, not Tim and Joe. I don't see Tim and Joe closing down anything. Tim and Joe's like trying to open schools. So when 30,000 Americans die, we could all point our fingers at Tim and Joe, it's your fault. Buck stops with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe the liberal media that make it look like the vaccine save people. Let's look at where the COVID-19 variants came from. United Kingdom, you know, they were heavily researching for vaccine, right? Testing on human subjects. So that's where COVID vaccine came from, or variant came from. Brazil, if you remember, Brazil bought millions of vaccine doses from Russia, and they started administering to their citizens, right? Do you remember that article I shared with you before? Like, you know, weeks ago. So vaccine, it seems to be causing the variants, right? In England with their vaccine experimentation, in Brazil with vaccine delivery, seems to be causing the variants. South Africa, my guess is some vaccine companies were testing their vaccines on human subjects in South Africa. Either the Dutch company, because Dutch have long-term relationship with South Africa, or German company, you know, like they're Bayer, Aspirin, they're German companies that have long-standing relationship with South Africa. So my guess is either German company or a Dutch company were testing their vaccines on South African citizens, or maybe on other European country, or maybe Russia, or maybe China. You know, some countries were using the population to test the COVID-19 vaccines with. And that's when the variants developed. So that's my theory. Heerak Christian Kim theory is that variants, mutants develop, mutants that are highly resistant to vaccine. They develop as the result of vaccination research or vaccination administration. I believe that I'll be proven correct over the course of 2021, that the more you vaccinate, you're going to create variants as COVID-19 reacts against the vaccine. You know, let's say I'm right or wrong. If we have 20, 30,000 deaths in America in April after all the vaccinations keep going on, then you know I'm right. You know, the proof is in pudding. It's not like you have to wait long to find out I'm right. You know what I'm saying? You know, like in 6 months. You know, I hope to be wrong, but I think I'm right. Yeah, these, you know, like COVID-19 is going to react. It's Newton's law. I mean, I don't know if you've studied Newton's law. Every action has equal or opposite reaction. That's part of Newton's law. That applies for physical objects, but that also applies for other things. It's part of natural law, I would argue. And so if you vaccinate, environment, nature will fight back, and they will mutate with deadlier force. Because the more force you apply in Newton's law, the more force will fight it. You see what I'm saying? That's Newton's law. And I'm a scientist, right? I believe in science and its scientific truth, and the scientific rules hold true. So I believe that Newton's law will hold true. And then the more we exert force upon nature, like against COVID, the more nature will fight back. We're fighting Mother Nature basically, because COVID-19 is part of nature, right? It's part of the ecosystem. So it will fight back. So what will end up happening is the greater force we exert, greater force nature will fight back, which means we're going to have deadlier COVID-19 variations. Yeah, and I'm sure, all the pharmaceutical companies are making a lot of money. So they're going to try to upgrade. And then the more you upgrade, same thing's going to happen. Force, opposite force. I think you got to look at pandemic as what it is. It's not like just the isolated illnesses, a few people. It's global and it's pervasive. This is our new ecosystem now. And so if we quarantine and contact trace, we're not fighting nature, right? We're not trying to impose ourselves on the nature. We're not trying to enslave or dominate, right? COVID-19. Because COVID-19 doesn't want to be a slave, right? It wants to be free. If we quarantine and contact trace and isolate those who have it, we're not trying to enslave COVID-19, right? We're not fighting it. We're just kind of peacefully quarantining. And eventually we'll survive. That's how China got to 0 cases. It's like coexistence, right? But you fight it, then it's going to react. It's going to fight back. And I'm saying that that's why we have the UK variant, because of the vaccine research. UK started far earlier than we did. So it makes sense. And Brazil, they vaccinated millions of their citizens already with the Russian vaccine. And that's why it's not surprising that we have COVID mutant. Because as I said, we have to follow principles of science when we're dealing with COVID. And Newton's law says the more force you apply, equal and opposite force will be applied to you. And that is in physics mostly, but it applies in every other field. I think Newton's law holds true in the biological realm as well, because you can study the physics of biology, of viruses, bacteria. They operate in the physical realm, in the physical way, right? They move, right? We calculate velocity. So Newton's law holds true in this case as well, I would argue. And as you know, I'm the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century, so I'm sure I'm right. I'll be proven right. This is my theory right now, but I'm sure it will become a scientific fact. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said he took full responsibility for the government action, saying, "We truly did everything we could. I'm deeply sorry for every life lost," he said. And England may have over 1 million people die in 2020, and it's really sad what's happening there. A total of 100,162 deaths have been recorded in the UK, the first European nation to past the landmark. The UK is the fifth country to pass 100,000 deaths, coming after the US, Brazil, India, and Mexico. Mexico, yes, it's number 4 for death, not for cases, but for death. No, maybe it's not number 4 for death. Yeah, but it has over 100,000 deaths. A surge in cases in recent weeks, driven in part by a new fast-spreading variant of the virus, has left the UK with one of the highest coronavirus death rates globally. A further 20,089 coronavirus cases were recorded on Tuesday, that's today. People in hospital remains high, as do the UK daily death figures. Yeah, it's bad. And they've been on lockdown for 3 weeks. That's how scary COVID mutant is. And Tin Man Joe and Kamazilla, they want to open up schools in this environment. in this ecosystem. Are they crazy? They want you to die. They want your children to die. I mean, they're going to listen to some quack from Center for Disease Control. Yeah, don't wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Do you remember that in March? Open up schools. Open up schools. These are quacks. I mean, I mean, geez, you have 30 little children in a small room. One child at choose. Everybody can catch COVID. I mean, you think your child's going to wear the mask properly for 8 hours in a day? Good luck with that. I mean, it's your child. You know how your child behaves at your home. How do you think your child will behave in school? Jeez. I mean, jeez. Oh my gosh. You think everybody listens to everybody in school, the students? Yeah, second article. Fauci, UK coronavirus variant leads to worse infections. Yes, of course. That's what Dr. Fauci knows this. So why is Dr. Fauci recommending to open schools? I mean, geez, that's just, maybe Biden is like twisting his arm, forcing him to open up schools, Biden maybe like this evil Knievel guy who wants to open up schools, and it's just like politically manipulating Dr. Fauci. Maybe that's what it is. Because Dr. Fauci is saying it's more infectious. So why would he want to open up schools? I don't understand, unless he's being politically pressured by Dr. Biden or maybe Dr. Joe, Dr. J, Dr. Jezebel. Who knows? We don't know. Maybe they're trying to pressure him, like force him to like, oh, if you don't do this, we'll fire you. They have that hanging over him. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, we have scientists not giving the kind of advice that scientists should be giving, like don't open up schools. That's what scientists should be saying. We need to quarantine. But do you hear Dr. Fauci saying that? He is saying it's more infectious, but he's not telling us to quarantine. What's the deal here? That's the science. Dr. Anthony Fauci warned Monday, that was yesterday, that the COVID-19 variant raging in the United Kingdom, which the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention had predicted will become dominant in the United States. Yeah, it's going to become dominant quicker than later if you open up schools, y'all. Can I get a 5? Can I get a 5 that if you open up schools, COVID-19 variant's going to spread faster in America? Can I get a 5 on that? It's like common sense, really. Yeah. Within roughly 2 months. It's going to take 2 months, according to Center for Disease Control, for the new variant to spread all over America. Yeah, to become dominant. 2 months. And they won't open up schools? Are they kidding me? People are going to die. It's likely more deadly. That's what Dr. Fauci is saying. It's more deadly than the current common strain of the coronavirus. The remarks from Fauci, the nation's top infection disease expert, and President Joe Biden's current medical advisor, represent a new assessment, meaning different assessment, from senior US health officials who had acknowledged in recent weeks that UK strain was more contagious, but said that there was no evidence suggesting it was more dangerous. This was what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, the vaccines will protect you against a new strain. There's no evidence that it won't. Didn't you hear that in CNN? Yeah, you heard it in CNN. Same kind of thing. You got to believe the liberal media. These scientists are guessing their way through. They're guesstimating. It's a serious problem. They're guesstimating because a lot of lives are involved. America's #1 for COVID-19 death. 4,000 Americans are dying every day. If they're going to guesstimate, they better guesstimate on the side of caution, not throw the caution on the out the window. You know what I'm saying? Jeez, don't wear a mask. I mean, geez, is that faulting on the side of caution in March 2020, Dr. Fauci? You know they're going to get infected. You know they're going to die. Why are they saying that they should open up schools? Is Tin Man Joe, President Joe Biden, twisting your arm to say that? Why are you saying something that doesn't make sense scientifically? The inquiring minds want to know. Number 3, 3 weeks into harsh lockdown, weary Brits fear it will take much longer to beat the new variant. COVID-19 is forever, y'all. It's never going to go away unless God takes it away, and God doesn't seem to want to take it away. So, y'all, COVID-19 is forever, y'all. Yeah. People in United Kingdom have been living under lockdown for the past 3 weeks. For the past 3 weeks, everything is shut down. Movie theaters, restaurants, schools, everything. So, Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, had been working hard to reduce COVID death. Not like our Tin Man Joe. He's trying to open up all the schools, yeah, welcome COVID-19. Yeah, infect all of our American children. Yeah, this is Tin Man Joe. This is Tin Man Joe. So 3 weeks, hoping their sacrifice would bring the country's latest coronavirus surge, caused by the new, more contagious variant of the virus, under control. But despite the harsh restrictions, case numbers are not dropping as fast as experts have hoped. Because it's the new variant, y'all. Yeah, it kills like the eagle. It swoops in and it kills like the eagle, the new variant from UK. The countryside, the country will be in the battle for the long run. Yeah, try like all of 2021, all of 2022, all of 2023, all of 2024. As Dr. Fauci said once, and I think that's something that I could quote, virus determine the timeline. I like that saying because he's right on that point. You don't get to dictate what COVID does. You're not the master of COVID. COVID-19 isn't your slave. COVID-19 is emancipated. It's not a slave of anybody. No human being can call COVID-19 a slave because it's emancipated. It does what it wants. Yeah, so it wants to keep infecting. Now, obviously, if we're smart, we quarantine and make this die out because they can't live without a human host. They need a human host to live. That's the only way they can live. So you're going to open up schools, Joe Biden, Tin Man Joe, and you're going to have all these human hosts for COVID-19 to live forever through. Yeah, you're providing them with human sacrifices. Yeah, opening up schools is like sacrificing our children to COVID-19 so that it could stay alive forever. Because COVID-19 can only stay alive through human hosts. If there aren't human hosts, it dies. That's why quarantine works. That's why Wuhan, China went to zero COVID death. Because they quarantined and made sure COVID-19 died out without any human host to infect. That's what we need to do. But Tin Man Joe doesn't understand this. Under Tin Man Joe, we're going to have like 30 million Americans die from COVID-19. Watch. Watch. That's what's going to happen. Don't believe the liberal media. The vaccine will not protect you against COVID-19 variants. Oh, the scientists are like, oh, maybe. We think it will. Oh. Yeah, you're going to go to we think it will by scientists. Yeah. When a scientist says we think it will, it means no. Yeah, that's what it means. Yes, none of your COVID-19 vaccines work now because of the variants in Virginia. It's a tragic thing, but it was bound to happen. I thought it would take a little longer, but happened sooner than later, which is sad. A lot of nurses are going to die. Yeah, I'm going to do a cheer for the nurses. As you know, I graduated from a 2-year master's program in clinical nurse theater, Georgetown University. 25 of us. I'm predicting that minimum 5 of us will die if all 25 of us are working at hospitals. So I want to do a cheer because we're going to lose 5 to death via COVID, unfortunately. Yeah. So I'm going to do a cheer because we got to celebrate the good, right? CNL 2020, yay! We graduated from Georgetown University on August 24th, 2020. Even if you die in 2021, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, at least you can die as a Hoya, yay! Yeah, you got to celebrate what you can celebrate because you may be dead a few months from now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, you have to live in the reality. You can live with wishful thinking, but that's not the real world. You know what I'm saying? Um, I will keep bringing you facts because I know you want to live in the real world and survive in the real world, not in the fictional, imaginary world of your mind. Yeah. So tune in tomorrow and I'll bring you more facts and figures and expert analysis that you need to survive COVID-19 for yourself and for your children. See you tomorrow, alligator. Bye.